in the game. Empty backfield, play clock at 2. Hornibrook delivers quickly out of the pocket, batted in the air, and then caught, but short of a first down.
Hedford 2nd and 5. Sidkowski swings it to Blackshear. And Blackshear down at the 25-yard line. David Long.
Hand it off to Fleet Davis. He's going to be short. David Long back in there to make the big stop to prevent him from getting the first.
And delivers. Intercepted. Off the deflection. And the Wolverines are run out inside the 20-yard line. David Long joining the party.
Open. Watch the location of the ball high. Off of his hands, high and behind. When you're high and behind on an outcut.
What is up, Ramley? Today we're going to be making a video talking about the Rams' newest cornerback out of Michigan, David Long, one of the best cornerback prospects in the 2019 NFL Draft. We got him in the 3rd round, so that's a steal. 5'11", 196 pounds, considered to be instant starter through the NFL Combine, and his 4.45 second 40-yard dash is actually pretty good. The only thing about him is his height compared to most of the wide receivers in the NFL, but since no quarterback in college threatened to throw his way, he actually had one of the best ratings as a cornerback because he was so good at staying with his wide receiver that their wide receiver was never hardly open. So there's some quarterbacks that they'll get interceptions, they'll go out there and get some interceptions, very flashy, and then there's guys like David Long who are always there with the wide receiver, always contesting passes, pass deflections, you name it. Had one of the best ratings, if not the best rating in college for a cornerback, mainly because he was always there and the quarterbacks were afraid to throw his way. A complete lockdown corner, someone that Wade Phillips will use to the best of his advantage and use his skill set to perfect the Rams secondary, which is already good. But with getting a guy like David Long, a guy that can play in the inside as a corner, that's what a lot of these analysts have him down as, is a really good slot corner. But he's always played man-to-man press coverage on the outside where Aqib Talib will be playing. But the reason why I consider him like the next Aqib Talib is because of his domination at man-to-man and press. He's just one of the best to do it in college right now. And when the Rams drafted him, not a lot of people knew about him. I know a lot of people that, they're very into the draft and they do all the mock drafts and all that stuff. A lot of them were highly grading him, but not a lot of people were talking. He's not the flashy guy, like I said. He's not going to get those interceptions, but he is always going to be with his wide receiver. It's very rare that he ever gets burnt by a wide receiver, gets left in the dust. Never happens. So I think this is actually a pretty decent move by the Rams. The fact that he's highly rated by Pro Football Focus and the NFL. So that's two. That I go by that. I go by the NFL and Pro Football Focus. And I also go by the tape. And if you look at the tape, no receiver's ever open. Whenever he's with the wide receiver, they're completely ignored the whole game. It reminds me when Aqib Talib came back after his injury, and we all know what happened with Michael Thomas and Marcus Peters. That is the worst case scenario for any cornerback, getting burnt the way that Marcus Peters was destroyed in that game. But then when Aqib Talib is given the opportunity to go one-on-one against Mike Thomas, and Mike Thomas had less than 100 yards, I thought he had less than 60 yards, no touchdowns, and it was a complete headache for Mike Thomas. That's what I consider David Long out of Michigan to be. Just a headache. He's never going to be open. So there's no way you can give the ball to the guy when he's not open. Unless you're willing to sacrifice throwing an interception. Maybe that's not the smartest move for a quarterback. But with the type of production that David Long had in Michigan, there's no way of avoiding it and ignoring that type of production. That's why the Rams went with one of the best cornerbacks that fit their scheme, their fit. If you were to get, let's say, a zone type of Wade Phillips defense, it's simply not going to work. So why not wait a little bit longer, try to try to, fill the holes you need to fill through the draft, and then get yourself one of the best man-to-man and slot corner in college. So that's what David Long does for the Rams. If you look at the tape again, he's simply one of the best to do it in college. Fits the Rams perfectly because you don't know how long Aqib Talib's going to stay with the Rams. You don't know how if Marcus Peters ends up having another bad year and we decide not to extend him, and I know he's going to want a lot of money. Maybe some other team will overpay for his services. The Rams don't seem to be the type of team that will overpay for average at best type of services. So great move for the future of the Rams. If there happen to be an injury with either Marcus Peters or Aqib Talib, he'll fill in there nicely. And he's a little bit taller than Nickell Robey-Coleman, so he's at a decent height, 5'11", 196 pounds, 4.45 40. But he does have elite coverage skills, man-to-man, press-man coverage skills. If you're not excited about that move, possibly having a younger Aqib Talib type of cornerback, then I don't know what to tell you. But let me know what you think. Do you feel like David Long is the type of cornerback that everyone's talking about? Because remember, Pro Football Focus has a high rating on him, and also does the NFL in general. The Combine had a really good rating for him, which was, let's see, I have it right here on my fingertips. They gave him a 5.771, which is actually pretty decent. It's like the lower end of the instant starters. So there's a high potential for this guy to be a success in the NFL. But it does say their chance to become an NFL starter. And he was selected in the 3rd round. Not a lot of superstar talent at that point. But when the guy just fits perfectly for us, we got to go and take him. Until next time, you guys, go Rams.
Off the deflection. And the Wolverines are running.